What's going on, everyone? This is Jeffrey, and today I have another Halo Reach gameplay. It's a Slayer Pro gameplay, so it's different than the traditional Team Slayer gameplay. In this gameplay, I do pretty well. I forget my final score, but it's a pretty good gameplay. It's not my best by any means, but it's a good gameplay. And in case you don't know, in a Slayer Pro gameplay, there's no radar, so it's kind of more like the more traditional COD, in that you can sneak up on players and get assassinations a lot easier. And the gameplay runs for 9 minutes, so it's a pretty long gameplay. And I think in this gameplay, in this commentary, instead of really focusing on the game itself, I think that I want to do a general commentary. And to those who are listening, I pose the question, what makes a good game good? So if you asked an individual this question, I think the answer that you would get would differ between whether that person was a hardcore or a casual gamer. A casual gamer would probably provide an answer along the lines of, a good game is a game that's addictive and fun. It's like a game that you can spend hours playing and just lose yourself in. An example of this would probably be like Call of Duty, perhaps even Battlefield, although some of you guys might disagree with me. Now, if you ask a hardcore gamer what makes a good game good, he or she would probably respond along the lines that a good game is a game with a powerful storyline behind it. It's like a game that you can really connect with emotionally. An example of this would probably be Halo, Mass Effect, perhaps even Spec Ops. In these examples, in these games, the storylines behind these games are so deep. Oftentimes they really incorporate various moral issues. Recently, I've been starting up Halo Reach, the campaign, for a second time. And I have to say, out of all the video games I've played, Halo Reach definitely has the best campaign, hands down. It is not even close. What really sets it apart, in my opinion, is the cinematic features of Halo Reach. When you play the campaign, you really feel the despair and the sorrow that the various characters have at losing Reach, and it really tugs at your heart. And I think that's kind of that's the essence of what hardcore gamers would consider a good game. In a good game, by hardcore standards, you can imagine yourself as the characters in the game. A good game should be an immersive experience. Now, that's not to say that this definition is categorically correct. It's 100% correct. I think the casual gamer response also merits some recognition. Now, Spec Ops, for example, had a game that really resonated with me on an emotional level. But it wasn't something that I would spend hours playing. There was the multiplayer, if you don't know, it's kind of subpar. It's kind of like a cheap knockoff of Call of Duty.
Gain the lead.
Now, following the hardcore gamer standard, Spec Ops should be considered a great game. After all, there's a really nice storyline behind it, and it's really deep emotionally. But a casual gamer would probably disagree, citing the lack of replay value, I guess. Now, in my opinion, Spec Ops is an above-average game. But unlike Halo, it's not a complete package. I think that the lack of replay value prevents it from being a true classic. If it had a better multiplayer and was more of a game that I could just immerse myself in and just spend days playing, then yes, it would be a classic. And in my opinion, and for those who are listening, this may seem like a cop-out answer, but I think a great game with an emphasis on the great must be both. Must meet both definitions. A great game ought to be emotionally powerful as well as addictive and fun. Halo Reach is what I would consider a great game. It not only can you spend hours playing the game, but it just has such a good storyline behind it. And as much as I love the COD game, the only COD game I would really consider a true classic is COD 4. And that's because COD 4, the campaign was amazing, and of course the multiplayer was great. Now, a good game, meaning a game that's a tier below a great game, can either be an addictive and fun game or a game with a deep storyline. So basically, a good game should just meet either definition. Now, others may disagree on how I approach this question, and I did make some generalizations in this commentary. But I do feel that the conclusions I've come to generally hold true. And I think that's the reason why some people there's so much COD hate. It's because these hardcore gamers don't really see it as a good game, and they have trouble wrapping their minds around why so many people play COD. I'm really hoping that in the next Call of Duty game, not to make this into a Call of Duty commentary, but I really hope it becomes a great game. I hope the campaign is as good as the multiplayer is. And the reason why I don't think this is actually going to happen is because rumors have it that the next Call of Duty game is just going to be Modern Warfare 4, and after Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, the campaign for these Modern Warfare series just kind of took a nosedive. Now, just on a side note, I just wanted to mention, I almost got 2 Moabs today, and both times I died right before, like, I was 1 death off both times. The first time I got knifed, I got panic knifed, and the other time the dickhead quick skipped the shit out of me. And I don't know. After the first time it happened, I was like, oh shit. And the second time I was just absolutely furious. Now I think, going back to the game, what I think that Halo Reach should do, this is just my opinion. I'm kind of biased because I play Call of Duty. I really like Slayer Pro with the lack of radar, and I just wish that more modes were available without the radar. Or if there was a radar, kind of make it like the Call of Duty radar, where you only show up if you shoot an enemy. What I've learned from playing Halo more and more is that to do well in this game, and if you gotta find the long range engagement weapons, such as the DMR and the sniper rifle. And then here in this gameplay, you see I go on these long stretches where I just find a good spot to overlook the enemies, and I just snipe them and try to get as many headshots as I can. Now, I have a question for my subscribers, all 12 of my subscribers, if you're watching this video. And would you like to see other games besides the traditional Call of Duty and Halo games? I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool to feature some lesser known games such as Spec Ops, or even Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. And if you're still listening to this commentary, props to you for managing to listen through a 8-minute commentary. Just listening to my boring commentary. But anyway, it's almost done. There's about 2 minutes left in the commentary, or 2 minutes left in the gameplay. As you can see, I do pretty well. I could have done better. The game before this, I actually did really well. I almost got a flawless game the game before, but I didn't get to record that one. So anyway, if you're watching this video and you really enjoyed the commentary and the gameplay, please give it a big thumbs up. Your support is really appreciated, and you don't know how much it means to me when you guys comment on my videos and I see the likes. It just really means so much to me. And if you're listening to this commentary and you aren't already subscribed to the channel, if you want to, it's a kind of lukewarm request. Please hit the subscribe button if you want. Anyway, thanks so much for